Recently, I made my 56th blood donation at the local community blood center here in Dayton, Ohio. They keep track of those sorts of things. And that was in spite of taking a 5-year break due to having thyroid cancer. But what I've found as I've gotten deeper into training for ultramarathons and triathlons is that I need to keep those red blood cells for recovery. So it's become tougher for me to donate whole blood, and of course the blood center has an answer to that as well. Whole blood donations occur about every 8 weeks at the max, and what I was finding is I just didn't have enough recovery time in between, marathons and 50Ks and so forth. Knowing that I was a cancer survivor and an endurance athlete, the folks at the blood center were encouraging me to try something they call apheresis, that is donating platelets and or plasma. This process requires an appointment and up to 2 hours, depending on different variables, including platelet counts, which are determined in real time. Cancer patients are a big beneficiary of apheresis donations. For me, this process requires about 1 hour with one needle inserted into my arm. The staff at the blood center monitors this entire process very closely, and here's what's really cool. They sit you on a butt warmer that I have to say is rather enjoyable. When the red and white blood cells are returned to my body, they come back in a little cooler than they went back out. That's the main reason for the bun warmer. The recovery process from apheresis is only about 24 hours. As the blood returns to my body, anticoagulants are added to it, which sort of gives you an odd numbing sensation in the lips. It's February in Ohio here, and while I'm not in heavy training season, my last 2 donations were apheresis donations, and I really haven't noticed any impact on my ability to do exercising. Once the entire process is complete, for me about an hour, probably a little over half of my blood's been removed from my body, put back in, and then there are 2 plastic bags of kind of a thick yellow fluid. That's what goes out to help save people's lives. You may be noticing that half my wardrobe is free shirts from the blood center, and now that I can donate every 4 weeks instead of every 8 weeks, before too long the only shirts I'll have will be running shirts and blood donation shirts. I was not a math major, but I'm pretty sure I'm helping twice as many people now as I was before. If you are blessed enough to be an endurance athlete, please consider giving back. Give of yourself literally and figuratively. If you've seen some of my other videos, you're probably wondering why this one's not called Crap You Can Do With Your Extra Blood. Below this video in the description, I'll include more links to deeper information on this subject. While you're watching, I'd like to suggest some ways to improve the quality of your own blood. More than 2 years ago, I switched to a completely cholesterol-free diet. That means I only eat plant-based food sources, 0 milk, 0 dairy, 0 meat, and no eggs. And yes, that means no fish. Over 7 years ago, I gave up most dairy products, and it's now been well over 7 years since I've needed to take antibiotics for any illness. By avoiding all animal-based proteins, I'm also avoiding casein, lactose, growth hormones, and I'm avoiding the testosterone and estrogen that comes with those food sources. I believe over 80% of all antibiotics are fed to the animals that people eat, so I would prefer to avoid those as well. The bottom line is that on a 100% plant-powered nutrition plan, you're most likely to have the strongest immune system, the best blood for fighting cancer and many other chronic diseases. Should I ever need blood from somebody else, boy, it sure would be nice to be able to request some blood from a vegan blood donor. Here's how easy it is to donate. Hey, Amanda, I was wanting to set up an appointment for the apheresis.